Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are back. Thank you for tuning in to SKF Weekly. You see it. It's your man, Ron, and my brother, John. We are back in the building. Yeah, man. I'm definitely excited for this show. You guys don't understand. When the show starts going, you see who we with, how we chop it up, how we talk. You understand why I love being a part of any show that we're all together on. It's a dope experience. But before we get to that, John, how are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well. I'm doing really, 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 really well. Especially because we got a really dope show. And we got a great surprise for everyone here who's watching. Do you care to let the people know what we got going on and who may be behind the scenes?
Well, guys, listen. I mean, when we first started this show, it turned into it was a love, a brotherhood. I would say the Three Musketeers, la Tres Musqueritos, you know what I mean? And then we told you someone was leaving. It was a sad day. But I never did a farewell. I told John we're not doing a farewell because you know what? One day he may be back. And guess what, folks? Jose is back in the building. La Tres Musqueritos is here again. Let's go!
What's up, fellas?
Yes.
What's good, Jose?
How you guys doing? You guys miss me?
Of course,
brother.
Man.
Behind the scenes, they never sound so good.
No, I think you guys are lying, honestly. But I'm happy to be back because you guys finally decided to pay my quota.
That's right.
Oh, right. We never revealed to the people why I left in the first place. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
that's the numbers game. Come on, man. We don't talk about that.
Yeah. But nah, I'm excited to be back. I'm excited for tonight's show. Here.
Yes, sir.
Right there.
Let's do it. Oh yeah. Give him more. Give him it all.
It's all back, baby. Let's go.
I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to, be here on the Monday night at, 9:14 p.m. My wife ain't that happy, but you know what? It's okay. I'm gonna make it up to her. All righty then, guys. It's great to be back.
Definitely gotta make it up.
Do your thing. I'm out of here. You know me. I'm gonna stay quiet. Bye.
Man,
Bye.
Love it. Bye.
Oh man, this is a good one. Okay, so guys, like I said, really great show. The reintroduction of Jose back into the fold. The trifecta is back again. And what's even dope is that, even doper, should I say, we got a trifecta that we're bringing in with us tonight. Now, it's only two of them, but they're a trifecta. So you see how it works? It all makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So let's welcome to the show without further ado so we can chop it up and get into this whole damn thing. My guys from Morning Brew Sports, Project Nerd, a.k.a. Hector in the building, and Jigga Porto. Let's go.
What's good, bros?
What up?
What's going on?
What up?
Yo, can we get Jose to do that beat one more time? Jose, hit me with that beat intro. Oh, how you doing? Yes, sir.
What Jose doesn't know is you really triggered a moment for Jigga Man. He used to club hop in Jersey Shore, so that was the music.
I was gym tan laundry all day, son. I was like, yeah, do it again, Jose. And there's the show, folks.
There you go. Listen, if Jersey Shore can be into their grandma days and still have a show that just follows them around, hey, why not?
So can we?
Right? Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Why not?
Exactly. Why can't? If they made their past 15 years of their life their entire show, why can't we?
I just want to tell you guys, that's brought up. It's the best gig in America. There's no job better.
Oh, for real. Yeah.
Jersey Shore, they got it locked down. Yeah. Anyway.
For real. Shout out to the chat
man.
also.
Yes, sir. It's great to see you guys here. Appreciate you. Smash that like button. Show your love, not only for still Knick fans, the return of Jose, but our great guest, Morning Brew Sports, Jigga Man, Hector, and shout out to my guy Phil. He couldn't be here tonight, but he is always in our hearts and spirits. We're gonna get the trifecta on at one point. We're gonna get it. Don't you worry.
Yeah, we're gonna make that happen. We'll make that happen.
We'll be honest. It literally took Phil. He's transitioning his whole life. I don't know if you guys saw it on social media, but my brother's crazy. All right. Most people start thinking, you know what? I'm gonna get an RV and drive around when the kids are out the house. Right? You and your old lady, you're like, let's try the travel shit. Phil, on the other hand, is like, you know what would be really good? 2 kids under 6 years old, an RV, and let's travel the world. Phil's going to go gray faster than anybody on this panel, okay? So, Phil, I love you, bro, but he signed up for some craziness. But, yeah, that's what he's up to, man.
Shout out to my bro, Phil.
I can't imagine, bro. It must be very interesting. But shout out to him. Listen, man, outside of all of this stuff, the real life stuff that happens with us, we have jobs, we have families, but I think I can speak for myself as well as John. There's a lot of good men out here, man. We're doing what we got to do to support ours. It's not always easy. We try our best, but this is an example of a whole bunch of good dudes. So, yeah, man. Thanks for being here, guys. Once again, I appreciate y'all. Y'all know I always give it up because it just, it's not even, we're not even trying, bro. It's so easy just to talk with you guys.
Yeah, we go back how many years, Ron and John, both of you fellas. Like, you guys remember me when I started out, and shout out to my guys, L and Hard Will over there, but that's where I started out at For the Love of the Game. And that's when I first met you guys. Of course, Uncle Ron as well. And, it's been a family with these content creators and these different content creators ever since the pandemic. And even though, we don't know everyone like in IRL, like Ron, John and I, we've been able to go to a Yankee game, Yankee Stadium a couple of times as well. But it's a parasocial relationship we all have with one another, and we've known each other for 3 years. And I think that doesn't get said a lot. So, shout out to you guys. Just wanted to say that real quick.
Yeah, man. Same here. Appreciate you.
Let's be real. It's so easy to get into the. My bad, Ron. Go ahead.
Oh no, you good. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna bounce off of that because you guys know how it is. There's so much toxicity out there that people get into that mode of they don't want to help each other grow. Right? Everything's a competition. Right. But when you have platforms like you guys have and what we're building, you've got, those certain channels that they understand it's all about the fandom and it's all about talking Knicks. It doesn't matter if you got X amount of users or this and that. I mean, we have 5 users and you guys are over here talking about go support the Morning Brew. Like that's huge, And then you got the other ones that are just like, hold on. Who? And they want to just do whatever they can to throw shade. But you guys since day one, man, I can't tell you how much I appreciate still Knicks fans, what you guys have done, always supporting us. So appreciate that. And I appreciate you saying, hey, let's talk Knicks on a Monday night, and you called it a great time. The Jets just signed Dalvin Cook an hour ago. How you doing?
What a signing.
I got Madden coming out in about 30 minutes. The game probably ain't changed for shit, but I'm still going to play it anyways. Okay, they got my money.
They get us every year.
But hey, take it. So you know what? This is the lead up to the Madden night. I'm telling you, I'm ready. I'm ready, boys. And boy, DSJ, I see you in the chat going crazy already. The troll of all trolls, boy. I love that man.
Shout out DSJ, for real.
Yeah, shout out to the entire chat. Appreciate you guys, and those who may not be in the chat that are watching. Thank you for being here and supporting. Like I said before, smash that like button real quick because this is a special night. We got great guests and the return of Jose. Want to shout out Walter Blackman, David L. Pudge, Knicks are nice, Mega, Comega that is, NYK. Let me see. Did I miss some? Sherwin in the building. Salute. Appreciate you. And of course, DSJ, without question. Salute to you guys. And thank you everybody for tuning in. So before we get into the Knick talk, because we're going to be doing most of this show is going to be Knick talk, right? We're going to get into it. But before we get into that, it's time that we go down and check out the life of Jigga Man Porter. We've already had Heck on the show, and we went through this with him, so we don't need to repeat it. And if you missed it, better tune in. Okay, go check it out. So Jigga Man, before we get into the Knick talk, I just wanted to talk to you, brother, because you're the blank page, at least in my eyes. I don't know a lot about your origin story and how you became a basketball fan, why you grew to love the Knicks, and how this whole thing happened for you. So if you could speak on that, where it all started for Jigga Man Porto.
So, it was 1982, and in Bayamon, Puerto Rico, this 4'11" woman decided to give birth to a stupid idiot called Jigga Man Porter. Nah, but as far as my love for the Knicks, man, I mean, I feel like I always make the joke, it's like all Puerto Ricans in the Bronx. You know what I mean? Like, I was born, and when they hung me upside down, they're like, all right, bam, and it was like Yankees, Knicks. Like, you automatically had no choice. Those were your two teams, and you were riding with them, right? Luckily, my 42-year-old self got to witness the days of John Starks. Okay, that's where I really truly became a diehard Knicks fan, man. Starks was my guy. Me being someone that never grew, right? You don't realize Starks is 6 foot something on TV. He looked like the shortest man out there, right? So he gave me hope for the little people. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be an NBA star. But then 4th grade kicked in, and I realized I was never gonna grow. So I just became a guy who loved the Knicks and just pulled away from playing basketball. And that's kind of how my love for the Knicks happened, man. Everything's always been. The ups, the downs was always just to follow that team. And like you mentioned, my brother, man, when you got a brother like mine, that boy bleeds orange and blue. Like, his life is Knicks. Like, every outfit growing up was Knicks. Like, I love the Knicks. My brother is like wifed up with the Knicks. Like, I can't even, like, the fact that he was open to share a platform with me and Hector to talk Knicks, that was a victory in itself, okay? Because that kid just wants to talk Knicks all day long. His dog's name is Barrett. Like, come on, this kid is literally the Knicks fandom.
I didn't even know that. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
His dog's name is Barrett.
Wow.
Jeez.
But yeah,
I
And,
love
the funny thing about it, he was gonna name him Obi, but he felt
Yeah.
Obi was gonna get traded, and he didn't want to have to stay with the dog
Wow.
forever. Named Obi, so he named him Barrett, and then Obi get traded in the offseason.
That's wow.
That's crazy, especially when
That's a
Barrett gets
commercial.
traded. Like, what is he gonna do? Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Too early.
Too early, Rob.
So, Jigga, okay, so all right, so it started from very young, and obviously your brother is a diehard Knicks fan as well. I mean, that, naming the dog Barrett is taking it to another level. I get it.
Facts.
So when do you think was the moment where, I mean, okay, it's the whole thing. Like, you grow up watching the Knicks, and yeah, all right, that's the team that's on the TV in the house. But when did you like fall in love? Like, oh man, I really love these Knicks players and this Knicks team. Do you remember that moment?
Well, honestly, yeah, I was 10 years old when I went to the Garden for the first time. And I remember sitting there and watching the game, and I was mesmerized, bro, and I'm with people that understand the game, right? My dad grew up playing basketball, busted his knee in college, and that's kind of what stopped him. And, I remember being young and going to Harlem, watching my dad play. He'd be like, watch, you got to earn your keep around here. You don't just show up and play like, old school days where, didn't matter who was out there. If you showed that you can play, you earned that respect, not, you can't play with us, right? So being at that game at the Garden, man, and being able to hang out with my pops, my mom and dad were divorced, right? So as a kid with a divorced family, you get those moments with your dad. It's like, yay! But I mean, this was the Garden, you know what I mean? And this was my first experience of watching it. I've seen it on TV. I saw all that. That's when I really fell in love with it, man. It wasn't like even a specific player. It was just the atmosphere. Like, man, I live in this area. Like, this is home. Like, this is what we talk about when we talk about we from New York. And I'm telling you, from that moment on, like, I always knew one day, somehow, some way, I was going to be doing some sort of work that made sure that I was at the Garden, whether inside of it or outside of it. Damn it, I was going to do something around the Knicks. So I'd have to say, Ron, that's pretty much like the first time I can truly say I fell in love with the Knicks, man.
Dope. John, did you have something?
No, listen. Talk to us about a memorable game. A memorable game that either you went to or that you partook with your brother, maybe hanging out at a bar or something that you could remember clear as day. Brings you to good times, not bad times.
Yeah, well, there's two, all right? I remember living in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, okay? And my best friend, Derek, he's a diehard Miami Heat fan. He's the Dolphins fan. You always end up with that best friend that is like the opposite of you completely. You know what I mean? Like the guy that you're going to sit there and argue with back and forth. And it was the Heat and Knicks series, man. When Zoe was hanging on the leg and all that good stuff. him and I literally went outside and we were so heated, we started fighting outside. Like if we were the actual Knicks and Heat, we were throwing the basketball at each other. We were talking so much smack. Swear to you, you can ask Derek to this day. I walk in, bloody nose, he's got a little cut over his eye. We were like, that was a really good game, and that was it. So that's number one. And then number two would be the last series, man, where it was me, Hector, and my brother, man. You know, we decided on a limb. We were like, we're going to do something with content. We're just going to go out there. We're going to figure it out. We bought plane tickets. We flew out there. We had no plans of where we were staying. We had no plans where we were going. And we're like, we're going to make something of this, you know? Okay. And there we were. We were able to catch that footage before all the crazy videos came out of the fake reenactments, right? Outside the garden. The first one was us. Right. And we wake up. We're like, oh, they're playing on SNY. And everybody's talking about that video. And we're like, that's us. And we had no plans, right? So that last one was a lot of fun, man. You know, being outside, you know, running into CP the franchise and Alex and those guys and talking to them. And even further, like I said it to Hector when we were there, I was like, yo, the fact that they looked at us and it wasn't like we were fangirling, like, hey, CP. It was like, oh, yo, what's up, Morning Brew? We were like, hi. You know, I mean, I still know me. You know us. So, yeah, I mean, this last series was good, man.
That's what's up.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, man, we could go on talking about the origin stories of both these gentlemen, but we'd be remiss if we didn't give you guys some Knick talk and really chop it up and get into the fold. But thank you for being here once again, fellas. Thank you for sharing that stuff with us, Jigga Man. Appreciate you, my brother. Man, what to say, because Twitter is a weird place, don't you think? Twitter is such a wild place. Knick Twitter is the craziest place I've ever been to in my life. It's like you're going somewhere.
It's called X now, Ron. It's
X
called
now,
X
right?
Now,
we got to move on.
Don't get hit with a lawsuit, okay? Don't get hit with a lawsuit.
Yeah.
All right, it's called X.
Knicks X is just a weird. That don't sound right. It don't.
Everything with X sounds weird. I'm just loading my videos to the X. What?
Thank you, Jose. Thank you.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I don't love it. I'm sorry. Well, okay. I know you guys get it all the time because, you know, you guys are pretty, you know, Jigga, I see you a lot on there. Heck, not as much, but Phil would stay going back and forth on X. But it's just crazy right now that, you know, we look at the situation with RJ Barrett, right? And I swear, I feel like he's the player that the Knicks fans they love to hate. And you know, John, was it John who said this? It might have been John, and then maybe even Uncle Freezy said it too. But before we got to last year, it was mentioned like, okay, Julius has been the villain. Knicks are going to need a new villain. The fans are going to pick somebody else. And both gentlemen said RJ would be that guy. And they were right, because RJ is that guy. People just won't. The guy looks slow. He might have arthritis. I think I seen him with a walker trying to dribble the ball. You know, he's getting worse and worse by the day. What's the real RJ? Then he goes out there and gets busy. Oh, it's not enough. I don't know. But this is the exhibition game. It doesn't matter. When it goes into the regular season, same old RJ. Like, this guy can't win. But anyway, I think that it should be acknowledged that RJ Barrett is, at least looks like he's playing comfortably. Looks like he's playing well with Team Canada. You know, he had a really good showing. And I also think that it's phenomenal that he shot so efficiently. He shot so efficiently, guys. We've got a stat for you. That's right. We've got a stat for you. RJ Barrett, 31 points on 13 of 14 shooting. You know what I mean? 4 for 4 from 3. That's right. RJ Barrett. I know you can't believe it.
Say it again.
I'm saying 13 of 14 from the field. 4 of 4 from 3 for 31 points. This, and you know, they were not killing, but they were like making a big deal about Jonathan Macri from Knicks Film School put on Twitter, is this RJ's best game? He wasn't being serious to the level of competition. He's just saying, I don't think I've ever seen RJ Barrett play this well and not miss. He only missed one shot. So that's all it was. But what do you gentlemen think about what you see? I'll start with Heck. I mean, how do you feel about RJ? Is it too soon? Is it fool's gold? What are you thinking about this?
Well, you said something when you was talking about going back and forth on the app that was formerly known as Twitter. That's how I'm gonna call it from now on, going forward. The app formerly known as Twitter, right? You said that, you don't see me that much engaging with the back and forth. And that's because I value my mental health, Ron. That's why. Because it doesn't matter what you bring to the table when it comes to stats, when it comes to film, it doesn't matter. They're going to deny it. You got people thinking some people are aliens and lizards out there, Ron. They're not going to believe the stats that you just put out there for RJ Barrett. Obviously, I'm trying to make a joke out of it, but if you can look at RJ Barrett's progression from his rookie season until now, this preseason, when you listen to his trainer, Drew Hanlon, right, talking about him, he said this was the only offseason that RJ Barrett didn't have to switch up his mechanics from shooting, right? His first year, the Knicks, their training staff messed with his mechanics. Second year, same thing. Drew Hanlon said, and there's an interview out there that you could watch, that he said this is the first offseason that he had back-to-back off seasons where he didn't have to switch up or worry about his mechanics. When you see his confidence on the court, like you said, Ron, it's an exhibition game, right? Some people may not put stock in the Germany team, but watching the highlights and listening to the Germany announcers, that's pretty funny. I'm not going to lie. But when you look at him when he's driving to the hole, he looks more composed. He looks like he knows what he's doing when he's driving down the lane. When you look at the Knicks last year overall as a team, when you look at the main ball handlers, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Jalen Brunson, the New York Knicks, a lot of people said that there's no playmaking. They don't get the team involved. It's ISO basketball. When you look at the stats, the New York Knicks led the entire NBA when it comes to assists from driving to the hole, right? And that has to do with RJ, Jalen, and Julius Randle with the style of game they play. And when you're watching the film from RJ Barrett, so far it's a bit early, but he looks more confident and he looks more posed driving to the rim. It doesn't look like he's just off the radar, just trying to get a bucket or trying to force something.
Mm-hmm. Jigga, what's your thoughts on what you've seen from RJ so far?
Well, I mean, back to what you said right off the gate, right? Everybody's looking for who's going to be that public enemy each season, right? All right. Everybody's over the Julius thing. They're like, we know he's not going anywhere. Let's find the new guy, right? And sometimes it's justified with RJ, right? In season, right? We all talk about it all the time. In season, we had RJ struggles, and then playoffs, he turned it on like we were hoping, right? My thing was at the end of the season, I said it on our last episode, I want to see RJ carry that over. I'm tired of this. I hate the conversation of in season and playoff. No, I want a player that's the same or just steps it up when we get into the playoffs, but I want that consistency. So the fact that we're seeing him exhibition or not, the fact is he went 13 of 14. He went 4 for 4 from 3. Exhibition or not, I don't care if it's just that he has that Canada joy in him because he's playing for his home team. The point is he's showing that, hey, it might be carrying over from what we were seeing in the playoffs. And we got to hope for that. So whether you want to make him a public enemy or not, he's not going anywhere, and I know we're going to talk about other topics that might change the perception on if he's with us forever, but right now, for this conversation, he's a New York Knick. We need him to succeed. So the same people that can sit there and vote for Julius and say, well, while he's here, we're going to root for him, you better feel that same way for RJ. And if RJ can bring this 13 for 14, 4 from 4 into this season, I'm sorry, man, that elevates our team that much better. So I'm not going to sit here and hate on RJ. I want to see that progression continue. My fear is we get back to the same old bull crap that we're used to, and we beat a dead horse when we talk about the ISO ball and what we do. Sometimes I feel this is a perfect example to show, are some of our players forced into that game style when they're on this team with the way Tibbs runs it? So what you're seeing from RJ right now in Canada, he's forced to change that when he comes in season because of how our team is structured. So I'm hoping we get to see that carryover, man, because if we get this version of RJ, man, I'll go get me a Canada flag and hang that shit up right behind me all season long. I'll tell you right now.
if I can, shout out to Serwin in the chat, right? I agree with him. RJ needs to work on his footwork. And so far you're seeing, like I say, he looks more posed and he looks more in control of when he's driving to the paint. But when he said that RJ doesn't pass the ball, that's why I disagree just a little bit, because when you look at the stats, when it comes to Mitchell Robinson and his alley-oops, the number one facilitator for Mitchell Robinson was RJ Barrett with his alley-oops.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I will say that out of all the seasons here, before we get over to John, out of all the seasons that I've watched RJ Barrett, and that's high school, the little bit I saw when they were hyping him up, and then when I actually saw him at Duke and then coming to the Knicks. Last year might have been the most selfish I've seen him as a ball handler. But two things can be the same. I mean, two things can be true. What Heck said as far as that stat can be true. On RJ's drives, he might be one of the best passers on the Knicks when it comes to like those top three, like Brunson and Julius. He might play a role in that. But that just also points to the fact of how many times RJ gets the ball in his hands to be able to drive, that sometimes I think he should pass and he's a little selfish. That doesn't mean he doesn't pass, and it doesn't, lend credence to the stat that that Heck was talking about. John, what's your thoughts on RJ and if it's maybe we're looking at him and blowing things out of proportion, maybe there's more to the story, or this is just what it is?
I'm more like this is just what it is, man. Players are going to go through ups and downs throughout a season. Unfortunately for RJ, he's always had a poor start to a season. Hopefully this gets him going, seeing that he's playing in his off season in sort of a regimen, right? He's in game shape, he's in game motion. So when he comes into the new season, he's prepped and he's ready to go. He's got all the kinks out and, he's confident. All we need is a confident RJ. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, basketball is a simple sport, especially when you're confident. If you're not confident, it's when you start to suffer. And I think that's what plays the biggest role when you play for New York, because New York has such an audience that's unlike no other, right? When you're playing in front of the Madison Square Garden crowd, it's like no other. And if you shoot 2 for 10, guess what? You're going to get the boo birds coming. And that's going to affect your confidence as a player. And you have to be really strong-headed, strong-minded, you know what I mean, to the point where you can just like move on to the next game. And I think that's something that not only RJ has learned or is learning in the mix of, but I think Julius Randle has learned that as well. He's learned right now that he has to accept failure and wins, right? He's got to be able to be confident in when he approaches both sides of the court. You know what I mean? When you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. You're going to play great games. You're not going to play so good some games. And you got to accept it. You got to own it. And you got to be there in front center stage to just, to speak your truth. You know what I mean? And I think that Paul George conversation that they had, I think that for me was eye-opening and reasons why that I think Julius is a perfect example of learning it as he's, you know what I'm saying, gone over the couple of years in here. I think it's important for all of these young men to mature. They're young men. None of them are 30. You know what I mean? So it's like you still are learning to be a man in a young man sport and in a grown man business. So, it's just growing pains. And I think he's going to learn from him and he's going to move forward. He's going to succeed at some point and he'll fail at some points. It all depends on his mindset. If he comes to the mindset like, you know what, I didn't do so well this game, I'm gonna move on and work, to get better on the next game or be more active on the next game. And that's what it is, really game by game. I think Tibbs does this really good, where he's always moving on to the next game. He's never like pondering the last game. You know what I mean? And I think that's why he's so successful as a coach in the regular season. His in-game adjustments ain't gonna be where they need to be. We all know that.
We know that.
He's conscious of the understanding of how that there's 82 games in the season is a journey. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not a sprint. You know what I mean? And you got to move on to the next game. And so I just think this is just a part of his growth, man. All that to say it's a part of his growth.
Yeah, I like that. I like it. Yeah, that works for me. And I agree with you on that too. So let's take a quick look at what RJ was doing, because I think what's interesting to me is not about the fact that he's scoring a high number of points and very efficient. It's how he's scoring the points. You know what I mean? The three ball is not something that RJ has been the best at being good with. So I kind of like, even though he was 4 for 4 from three, you know what I mean? I'm like, I ain't worried about that, because I know that shot's not always pure. It may be better this year. I hope it is. What I was concerned about is watching how he broke down the defense and got to the lane at will. Because what we've talked about before is RJ getting to the paint at will. No problems there. It's finishing. And ever since the playoffs, you guys know, his layup package was looking real good. It was looking very 2K-ish. He was getting those layups going, and I want to see if he can continue to do that. But in the game versus Germany, he was able to do that. He was able to keep going. Now, one thing was a little weird. He was going to the left and not being stopped going left, and even going up and under on the left. I'm like, damn, that could be a right hand. You could use your right hand for that play, but he still went with the left. Like, he was so left hand dominant. So that I will say, I don't want to be the Debbie Downer, but if I was going to critique something, all I could say is in the NBA, they may not let him, be able to go up and under with the left, and then on the right-hand side with your left hand. You might have to switch that ball to be able to get that shot off. So, like, different things like that. We'll see if we got the video for you. If it don't, if it's not playing, maybe. Oh, there it is. Okay, here it is, folks. So as you can see, RJ's driving right here. Look at this. RJ's passing the ball. That's a good sign, guys. Kicking it out for three. I don't know who hit the three, but he hit it. Then look at this back down. RJ with the spinorama in the lane and one. Eek, eek. No, maybe I don't know. Here he's getting kicked out for the three on the perimeter in the corner. Look at this little size up game. Passing the ball back to RJ. Look at that. He trusted his teammates. Not a big deal, but he got the ball back. Here with the back down, you see him in the lane. I don't like this play. I mean, it looks good to show his strength. I think that was a bad. That's a throw up in my neck of the woods. But here he lines up and gets a nice look at the rim for a three. Once again, that shot looked pretty good. The follow through looks all right, but I feel like RJ's follow through always looks pretty good to me. Here we got a run to the basket, nice layup. And once again, you notice he went up with the left and moved it to the left-hand side. Oh, my God, this guy is so left-heavy. Right there, his up and under play that he does that he likes. This one is super
That's the
strong.
one.
I like that one.
That was good.
I mean,
that's the one we're
not always
going
to work, more of. But I like it. I like it. Little steal by who? RJ with a steal? Yes, that's right, folks. And transition. That play, it's a weird layup, but it goes in. I've seen him do that in the playoffs too. That's a nice little quick, cut right there, and then that's it. But you get an idea. Like, RJ's been a lot more aggressive. I guess ever since the playoffs, whatever he worked with Drew Hanlon, they said just get to the rim and go at the rim. It doesn't matter who's around you. You do your shot the way you expect to do it. People keep saying you can't keep going left. You got to do other things. It looks like they've just told him, or Drew's just told him, go left and go left. He's going left.
You go until they stop it. Go until they stop it. I mean, you don't fix anything until they make you make an adjustment, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean,
when you watch that, when you watch the film and you see some of the highlights, from what he's doing with Canada. I mean, there are moments you got to sit there, right, and take a step back when we look past the efficiency and the fact that it's our boy RJ because he's a Knick. And you got to sit there at some of them. You're like, okay, you won't get away with that, when you're back home. There's certain plays you're like, yeah, it looks good there, but that ain't going to fly when you're up against the big boys, But even still, even if you cut the points that he had yesterday in half, the efficiency is what I'm really paying attention to. Right. So, yeah, I agree with you, Ron. I don't think he's going to get away with that left hand all the time. But we have seen him pull that off. We saw it in the playoffs, that weird bounce back off a body and throw it up against the backboard. That goes in for him. It doesn't look the prettiest, but it goes in. Right. So I do agree. You mentioned that one that he threw it up. It just looked like he threw it up. Like that one there, you're not getting away with that. Yeah. That's not dropping at home. You're not putting that ball up. That's going to be our usual, what we all know. Where one of our guys is jumping in the air and they're doing that in the air pass to somebody and it bounces off of Mitch's forehead and then the ball's turned over, right? So I see those things there. I'm like, that still needs work. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I agree. And I want to kick it over to Hector, but Sherwin said, watch his footwork. He can't create separation. And you know what? There's a lot of truth to your statement, Sherwin, that RJ sometimes struggles getting the separation. But even though that's the case, he still gets to the rim at will. So if he couldn't get to the rim at will, if his handle wasn't strong enough to hold on to the ball to get to this to a certain spot on the court, I'd be really worried. But as long as he's always got that in his bag, that always puts the defense on their heels. He may not always be able to get that separation, but it's at points in the game where you have to be mindful of it. Because if he can do that, the defense knows, listen, RJ just scored a layup on me. Okay, whatever. Oh, RJ just scored another layup on me. Back-to-back layups, you start to say, okay, I gotta prepare myself. RJ's coming in like a bull. That's when RJ's got you. Now RJ can do a little step back and pop a 2 or pop a 3, whatever. But this is what I want, the evolution of RJ's basketball IQ. Use the layup and the inside game sets up the outside game. Some people say it can be the other way around too, depending on who you are. But either way, that's how it works. Anyway, heck, what do you think about what Sherwin says about RJ's separation and just how he plays?
No, but one, I agree with what you said, but at the same time, I'm not going to not agree with Sherwin, because that is an issue when it comes to RJ Barrett, right? When you look at those drives, and even though like they went in and he was able to get to the basket, it is very slow and he is telegraphing his movements. You could get away with that with a below average defender that plays on Germany. You can't get away with that when it comes to NBA players that are above average or average when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. If you're in a 7-game series with the Miami Heat, you could get away with it for a half of one game. You're not going to get away with it for a 7-game series. Not at all. So when it comes to RJ, like Sherwin says, it's his footwork. If he's able to create separation, just a little move. He doesn't have to be Allen Iverson with the crossover. He doesn't have to be that. Just a little hesitation from your defender and go left and right. Like Ron, like you were saying, you would like to see him go right more. I'm the same way. Switch it up, because if you're always going to go left, John, what they're going to do? They're going to go left. They're going to switch left on you and force you to go right. So you got to have it in the back of their head, not knowing what you're going to do, if you're going to go left or if you're going to go right. It's like baseball. You can't always throw the 96-mile-per-hour fastball, because after a while, big league hitters are going to hit it. You have to have a difference in speed, 95, 80, 78. Switch it up. RJ has to do the same thing when it comes to being on the court and being more decisive with his ball handling and how he attacks the basket.
And if anything, overcommit to it. If you're going to play like that and go left all the time, use that to your advantage. If the defense starts going left, that means, the whole right side is open up for your teammates. You're able to make, put somebody in a position to get a nice look over there. So just be smart. John, you were going to say something?
Yeah, for me, I agree with what everybody else is saying. I think the biggest hurdle that he's going to have to overcome is his free throws. He's got to be able to hit free throws at a consistent rate, because if he's planning to play bully ball, it looks like he put on some pounds. First and foremost, let's give him credit. The kid put on some pounds, man. Like, the kid is getting strong.
He did.
So, you know what I mean? That's going to help him. You know what I mean? And if he can get a strong base, it's going to allow him to finish at the rim, because it's really about having a strong base when you get off the floor, you know what I mean, and being confident in your strength to put the ball in the hoop. I think that's going to help him. It's really about, is he going to get the calls when he's in game in the NBA? Is he going to get the calls when he's playing bully ball, when he's attacking the basket? And when he gets to the line, is he going to knock down those free throws? Because I think that's where the confidence comes from. That's where he's going to build from. If he can knock down the free throws at a higher clip, then everything starts to just come together. You know what I mean? Because games where he should be scoring 20, he's scoring only 16. Right? Because he's missing, a handful of free throws. And then that isn't looking good on his stat, and he's the type of player that he's motivated to make an all-star team. He's motivated to show that he belongs, right, as a first-round draft pick. And he hasn't quite got there yet. And I think this is an opportunity for him to build on his success in Canada once he starts in the NBA. You know what I mean? And it's really about just being efficient from the free throw line and then working your way outward, because that's not really his game. So,
right.
Yeah. If I may just add just one more, I just wanted to add one more thing, and I throw it over to Self underneath me. when it comes to RJ Barrett, I just want to put out a disclaimer out there for everyone, right? As much as I've been an RJ fan or watched him in high school, like you, Ron, as well, and watching his videos coming out of college, all that put aside, if there's a trade out there to improve our team, I'm gonna support it, because ultimately, yes, I may like RJ Barrett, but I'm a Knicks fan first and foremost. If there's a move out there that makes sense, that helps this team get to the next level, and RJ Barrett has to go in that deal, I'll pay for his Uber. I'll take him to the airport myself. Bye-bye. I'll buy you dinner on your way out. All I care about is my team finally being able to hoist up that trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fair.
All I was gonna say was, because I saw people in the chat, I think David L was one of them, right? Where he said he doesn't need to be elite, right? And then you got DSJ saying, I've been saying the same thing about RJ, but I'm glad the criticism, and all that. And that's the thing. The biggest thing I'm taking away right now, guys, outside of the efficiency we saw in an exhibition game, is you said it right off the gate, Ron. He's looking like he's being decisive on what he's doing. He's not second guessing. Right? We saw a lot of that where he goes to the hole and then boom, he runs right into the defender, or, the same Julius move that he was trying to do with the spin right into a defender, right? So him not second guessing, that alone will be a major step up for him, because he's put the weight on, he's looking stronger. And if he is truly working on his footwork, then it's going to be a lot easier to take it to the hole. But if he's going to go back into that same mentality of, I don't know who I am, then I fear we don't see much change from RJ. But if he does stick to the I'm confident, I know I can get there, and really trust what he has around him, then we can definitely see an increased level of play from him this season. And you can't really throw shade at him about that at all.
Fair. And shout out to Captain and Coke 70, because just real quick, John. He said the only way RJ improves is if he were to become more aggressive. As of now, he is, and that plays into what you were just saying, Jigga man.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
If he's making those decisions and being aggressive, that's going to help, hands down.
And it opens up everything else for the rest of the team. You know what I mean? In order for us to compete in the playoffs, we need RJ to be a number 2, number 3 solid player on this team, right? He needs to be one of the 2 options, right? And so, and we already know that Jalen Brunson is leading by example, and so Randall is also a number 2, number 3 option. So every night you're gonna have someone who we have on the court who can beat you.
Facts.
So if RJ doesn't show up, that is going to affect our team, and that's why I think if the first 20 games, I'm looking at the first 20 games to see how does he come out. Does he come out where he's lighting it up? Not necessarily from the 3-point line, but just getting his shots up, aggressive on the defensive end, aggressive in transition, you know what I mean? Running the court, with Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. Like, we got to see that tempo, very high tempo offense, you know what I mean? We're not going to get a fast-paced offense, but when we get in transition, we got to run. We got to make, you know what I mean? We got to use the physical ability that we have on this team. We have Mitchell Robinson. He's a physical specimen. We got Julius Randle, also physical specimen. And now RJ is building his body up to do the same. And if we can get those guys to be a part of that starting unit, and Grimes is working on his handle, you're seeing that, right? So you got quality players all working on things. We come into this season, we're gonna shock a lot of teams early on. You know what I mean? And that's just because Tibbs prepares us for the regular season. You know what I mean? Say what you want about him. He's ready. He has his players ready for the regular season. Yeah. And so we'll shock a lot of players. A lot of teams that aren't going to be prepared for us. It's just what it's going to be. And then our bench row, we got to figure what that's going to look like. If our bench row is 3 to 4 players, because I don't even think Tibbs is going to maximize the bench. I think he's going to 3 to 4 rotation. At least everyone knows what their role is. And if someone's going to get hurt, someone's going to jump in. But you're only going to get playing time if someone gets hurt. But at least they've organized it. Moving Toppin may have been the best thing for a Tibbs run team, because there isn't an expectation anymore. An expectation to play Obi, unfortunately. He was behind Randall, who we wanted to keep. As an organization, we chose a direction, and we're here now. Obi moves on. It allows Tibbs to be Tibbs.
Yeah.
And I love what you said. Sorry, we were all
No,
ready
I
for
was
that
gonna
one,
say-
boy.
No,
we were all ready.
Yeah. That was juicy. I'm like, outside of Obi, there's really no big concern about minutes. Like other guys may deserve more minutes, but they get a good amount of minutes. The only other person who's starved for minutes, but even as fans, we can't necessarily say it warrants it, is Deuce. Sometimes you just, it is what it is. Deuce can't get the minutes because he can't get the minutes. But, we'll see what happens. But go ahead, Heck, what were you going to say?
Piggybacking on what you just said when it comes about the minutes, shout out to JJ in the chat. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. If you guys can, there's 29 of you guys in the chat. Smack that like button for my familias over here. Thank you, Jose, for that. But no, when it comes to the minutes, I want to take a step back and realize that as content creators, we won't have to worry about having a conversation about Obi Toppin and his minutes for the season. We could focus on this team because that was a big issue last year, and I think it was a distraction. Like I said, after John went, I threw it out there. It removes the distraction, not having Obi and all the fans in the arena screaming his name. As much as we all wanted Obi to work out, I know there's a big portion of us that wanted Obi to work out here when it comes to the Knicks. It didn't work out. He's going to go to Indiana. He's going to have Tyrese Halliburton. He's going to have an opportunity to start to prove that he belongs in the NBA. I wish him all the best of luck. Like I said, I'm focusing on my team and how my team can improve for this season. And improving is by removing a distraction. And I think ultimately it's going to benefit the chemistry of the team.
100%.
Yeah. Jigga, were you going to say something?
I got distracted because these takes are fire. So shout out to you three guys. And JJ, I see you, bro. Yeah, we did. We got cooked. Let's go. Sorry, I saw Jets love.
Listen,
but it was back to what you said, John. Is I was saying it so much last season. Heck, you can confirm, right? The product formerly known as Twitter. I used to get crap about it because I'm like, why is everybody so focused on the superstar? Why is everybody so focused on we need to have the superstar? We don't have any stars. I'm tired of you need to be the 1, 2, and 3. Nah, we know we got a 9-man rotation. You need to be one of 9. You need to be one of those pieces that make sure that this ship keeps running the right way. So every time just one of these guys gets better, your role is to fit in that 9-man rotation. So if RJ's taking that step up, we already know what we got in Jalen. I know we're going to get in some Jalen talk, okay, because Captain America is freaking killing it, all right? I mean, even when I do my salutes, when I say his name, I feel like I got to say it like with respect, okay? But I just feel like every person just has to play their role. And if we keep seeing that, forget who's 1, forget who's 2, forget who's 3. Be a core of that top 9 that we need.
100%, right?
Yep.
Yeah. No,
also, Jalen's ranking in 2K is 94. That's the highest Nick ranking that I ever seen playing NBA 2K.
It's nuts. It's nuts. I'm gonna enjoy it for the first week that it stays that way.
yeah, exactly. It's gonna be that first week, Ron.
I'm never gonna download the update. I'm just kidding.
There you go. Just play offline.
My updates off. I will say. Shout out to somebody. I can't remember who said it, but somebody said it on Twitter. This year, it may be true. This is a little side note before we're about to jump into Jalen Brunson right now, actually. RJ Barrett, because John mentioned as well, he's a little swole up, a little bigger, put on some more weight, but he also might have grown a little bit. He actually somebody was saying, RJ kind of looked like a power forward out there. I don't know, guys.
It's those sneakers, that I be seeing on TikTok. That's what it was. He got them new sneakers that you automatically. Yeah. I was gonna order those just so the ladies think I'm a little bigger. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it is. It's the special sneakers. RJ
yeah, could be. But
I just want to answer someone's question in the chat. I'm sorry. JJ asked about Carmelo's Anthony's rank. The highest he was ranked was 92, and that was NBA 2K13.
Ooh, you
got all the knowledge you need,
That's
JJ.
What I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking. See what happens when Still Knick fans comes together with Morning Brew Sports. It's unstoppable.
It's Give me another rating, Hector. Another one.
It's because autism is a hell of a superpower. That's all that is.
Squirrel.
You gotta love it. Shout out to you guys once again in the chat. Smash that like button as was said so graciously by my special guest here tonight. Infamous New King in the building. Salute. Captain and Coke once again. Salute to you. JJ, appreciate you. Alex Isaac is in the building. Appreciate you. Kareem is in the building. What up, twin? What's good? Building Blocks is here. Trini Harlem Jr. is in the building. Salute. Appreciate you guys. Deron Wayne is here. King Ribby is here. Appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for showing love to the show and showing love to Morning Brew Sports as well. Now, that being said, Captain America. Man, Jalen Brunson. I mean, look, I don't care what anybody says. I said it before he got here. I'm not usually one of those I told you so type guys, but I really feel like I told you so. I knew Jalen Brunson was going to be the bomb, man. I knew it. Anyway, the guy is just, he's so, even in Team USA with the FIBA games going on, the first game, it looked a little rough. His shot was not flowing, didn't look that great, but the guy still finished with like 11 points and like 11 rebounds and like 6-7 assists, some crazy, like Jalen just does what he needs to do to support his team, man. That's what you gotta love this guy. And then the last game, Jalen Brunson put up a nice Jalen Brunson stat line. You know what I mean? He gave us some of that Nick love. He did not miss. He did not miss. I think we got a little bit of something that'll show that Jalen Brunson did not miss. Look at that. 22 points, 9 of 9 from the field. Okay, he only had 2 rebounds and 5 assists, but he was cooking. It doesn't matter. He was cooking. He couldn't miss, folks. Beautiful game by Jalen Brunson. Team USA is hitting their next stride, and they had a good competition versus Spain. Spain is the favorites, in this FIBA games. So they won by 10 points. It was a really good game. Jalen was cooking. The rest of these guys were starting to step up. Anthony Edwards stepped up. I mean, I know this ain't the NBA wrap-up, but I just want to shout out the young man because he looked good in the game. He was very aggressive. Yeah. So, but yeah, man, what do you guys think about Jalen Brunson? Heck, what's your thoughts on the guy and what he's doing out here?
I think Jalen Brunson is going to go down as one of those great Knicks. You saw it in year one, how he was in the playoffs, how he stepped up. That last game against Miami, obviously, we don't know what happened in those last couple of minutes. But I think Jalen Brunson outblew all of our expectations, right? I don't think anyone... And if you did, you're a liar. I'm calling you out right now. I'm calling cap on it. I don't think anyone expected Jalen Brunson to.
Oh no! I'm one of the few guys who knew it was coming. I was one of the guys saying, "Did you see his stats?"
I'll let you pass that, Ron.
There.
No, but when it comes to Jalen Brunson, you could tell that he was raised well by his pops. He comes from a good background. His basketball knowledge, I think it's something that I wasn't expecting him to have, right? Obviously, his size is what it is. He had to make up for not having the same skill set as some of his peers, and he had to become a student of the game, and his basketball knowledge out there being a connection to that coach and being the second coach on the floor. You could tell Jalen Brunson, he's a gamer, he's a winner, he's a type of ball player that diehard New Yorkers love, that grittiness. John, Ron, you guys both know people in the chat. Jalen Brunson reminds you of that guy that he lives in the Bronx, but he works in Brooklyn. Got to go to the bodega every day, get his bacon, egg, and cheese, his $1 coffee, got enough money for the train just to go all the way to Brooklyn. That's how Jalen Brunson reminds me. And I'm happy that he's a Knick, and I'm super excited for this season. He looked amazing playing. I understand he's playing in FIBA and stuff or whatever, but he has a nice supporting cast around him, and Jalen Brunson, he just shines more when he has better players around him. And so far, we're seeing that from these couple of games that he has been playing. And like Shy Power said in the chat, he's a star. He's a star. And we got our star right now.
Yes, he is. And shout out to Shot Powers. Appreciate you guys. Definitely support and show your love for Knicks Real Talk, Shot Powers, and my guy Divine. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and show them some love over there on their show. Also, you see it, Phil Porto is in the building. Folks.
Phil is in the building. What up, little bro?
Salute, brother. And you know what better way to after acknowledging Phil to just send it on over to Jigga Man. What's going on?
Just now that my little brother got all the shine. Thanks, Phil. But look, let's be real. Anybody that was expecting Jalen Brunson just to be the same that we saw last year, you're crazy. How could you not expect to see an even more aggressive, more improved Jalen Brunson? Let's not forget, this man got snubbed from the All-Star game. That chip is still on that shoulder. Okay, he's coming back, and just watch. Yes, we can sit here and say it's just the FIBA, right? Whatever, and it's the Knicks USA team. But the point is, the kid's a dog, right? You see it every time you think you can't pull out something new. You see some sort of new shot. You're seeing some sort of assist. Last night, what was it? You said only 5 assists, right? Which was I think 4 or 5, 3 or 4 less than the game before, or something, right?
That's about right.
The game before, he was like an assist machine, right? So the fact that he shows you he has all this different stuff in his bag. What we saw from Jalen Brunson last year was amazing. And I'll sit here on record, just like I do on our show. There's not a doubt in my mind that we're going to see an even bigger level, an even extreme game style from JB going into this season. Okay? This will be the season by the halfway mark that we sit there and say, you know what, guys? We actually do have a superstar. Nobody want to put that title on him yet because it was season 1, blah, blah, blah. He's going to force that conversation to say, I am the superstar that's here. I am the guy that's leading the squad, okay? That chip on that shoulder, I'm telling you guys, Captain America is about to go off in season 2 with us. There's no doubt in my mind.
I think you're very right. And before we get over to John, I just want to say, if you guys look, I couldn't find the stat. I've seen it multiple times, but when I wanted to show it on the show, I couldn't find it before. But Brunson progressed throughout the season. So each month, his points per game total kept going up. The last month of the season, about a month and a quarter, he averaged like 26, 27 points. So if he comes into this season out the gate doing that type of stuff, look out. So anyway, John.
Sherwin said, slow down.
Slow down.
There's too much caffeine on a Monday, my guy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man, you guys hit it on the nose, man. There's not much else to talk about other than, Brunson to me is sort of like in hip hop. If you would look at hip hop right now, and I know it's the 50th anniversary of hip hop. So he's sort of the J. Cole of the NBA, a guy who comes out of nowhere, sort of underrated in the beginning of his career. You know what I mean? And then he's starting to find his way now. You know what I mean? And you think of J. Cole now, I think Jalen Brunson, this is his year. This is that album. This is the album year right now. You know what I mean? So I think he's really going to show improvement. Everyone's really going to, they already got a glimpse of it. Now they're going to know that New York is his team, and he's going to ride for New York, and he's going to take us to the next level. And he's going to become that superstar that everybody expects him to be. I think he knows it. I think the players around him know it, and that's why they're riding with him. Julius Randle was outspoken in saying, "Hey, he made me better. He made me work out." You know what I mean? Like he motivated me to be in great shape, right? And this is coming from a guy who is a workhorse. Like Julius, don't get it twisted. He is a workhorse. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if anyone is motivating anyone, it should be him. And he was motivated by someone on his team who was brandly new to the team, someone who was brought in from the outside. So you know what I mean? Although he was sort of inside, but you get what I'm saying. So to me, I think it's going to be a great season for him. You know what I mean? I think this is going to be his pinnacle year. This is going to be the year that he stamps it all in the NBA. He makes an all-star appearance. He wins a couple of crucial games down the stretch. He gets us a win in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like those are the things that you start to see remarkable play. And I think that's what we're going to get from Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, and I think something that's not being I'm sorry, my fault. I was going to say something that's not being spoken about that much, especially when it comes to like the big timers that cover the Knicks going into this season. This team is not going to have to worry about that first month and a half, 2 months trying to figure out the rotations. We know who's going to be starting. We know who's going to be coming off the bench. There's no more of who's going to be the number one option or the number 2 option or number 3. There's none of that no more. We know it's Jalen. We know it's Julius. We know it's RJ. We know who our bench pieces are. We know Quentin Grimes is going to start. All of those questions are answered. Like I said, we don't got to worry about how many minutes is Obi Toppin going to get. Is he going to get more than 15 minutes? Shout out to Phil, because that's something he always kept hammering about is 15 minutes and Obi Toppin. But no, we won't have to worry about none of that. We finally have a team that we have 3 to 4 seasons in a row that we know who our head coach is. Now we have back-to-back seasons. We know who our starting point guard is. Now we're coming into this season. We know who our number 1, our number 2, and our number 3 option is. And we know what our bench role is going to be. There's no more trying to figure it out. The team has it now, and let's see what they can do.
That's right. And everybody already knows their sets. They better know their sets. You know what I'm saying? The only person that needs any sort of tutelage is DiVincenzo, which is why he's on everyone's hip, right? He's got both Villanova guys right next to him, teaching the playbook. You know, Jalen Brunson was his bunkmate, right, in college. So they already know how to work and how to train, and you know what I mean? So that's going to be
chemistry
easy.
Was the main thing in
Chemistry's
mind, right?
there.
I mean, you got to look at that. You brought someone else in that is a part of that family, that core that he's used to. You're building, you know, we all joke about it. Phil does, right? The Villanova boys, and Phil does all these shorts on it and stuff. But the point is, it's just like, and I hate to bring the Jets up, but that's how I compare it, right? We went and got ourselves a quarterback who came in and said, hey, here's pieces I want because I'm familiar with them. Go get me this receiver, bring me this guy, bring me this O-lineman. He brought his guys with him for that familiarity. They're able to teach the other guys on the team, hey, this is how we're structured. This is what works for us. You're going to see that same thing. We saw it with Josh Hart when he came over, and now you're going to see it with DiVincenzo. I mean, I think people forget, even with Hart, we only got, 25 games plus the playoffs with Hart. Right. Imagine a full season. We all know when he got here, the way we got on a roll and you saw that chemistry, now you take another one of those Villanova boys. I'm sorry, we're not talking about, hey, we're just friends. You're talking about, like, these are guys in my wedding. These are my boys. Like, these are guys that we're doing videos together late night talking shit, right? So that people are underplaying that and don't realize it's a big deal because it's going to help him learn exactly. You're going to find me, aren't you?
I was going to say language.
I knew it. I knew you were about to find me. This man makes me pay every time I'm on
our show. Dude, I'm not sure all the time.
Not on the tip jar.
I don't have a jar. I don't know. I know Heck's always looking for the jar for you. I don't have
always, man. I got a tab open for our own show. I'm like, damn, I'm in the hole, man.
I be telling people, you gotta help out with these super chats, Jigga. He need to pay off this tab, yo.
but continue, Jigga.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, but like again, it's just you're bringing in that chemistry, right? You know, yes, we can all, you know, we're past the Obi Toppin conversations and we had that moment on Twitter and X, whatever. You know, the point is you're bringing in somebody that all he has to focus on is learning how Tibbs' system works, but he already knows how the other guys on the team play. So that chemistry is going to go a long way, man. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. And it's going to be easy for Tibbs, man. Cause like, I know there's a chat on this part of the chat's talking about bench roll for the power forward role off the bench. I think that's going to be by committee. I mean, there's no question that he's going to play that by committee. And the true example of New York basketball is going to be seen this coming season because you're going to see the growth of some young players like Quickly, like Grimes. You're going to see them evolve. You're going to see RJ evolve his game. And then you're going to see all the other players sort of just mature into their roles to the point where you're not going to really see that many holes. At least that's what I'm hoping for. You're not going to see that many holes. If you're going to see a hole, it's from players who haven't, you know, progressed, or we've seen sort of the same kind of hesitancy and non-confidence in their play, you know. But once you know the set, once you understand the system that you're running in, there's no question. You know what your role on this team is going to be. You stay aggressive, stay confident. There's not too many teams that are going to be able to beat us, man. And with that said, listen, there's a possibility that we win more than 50 games. It's just what it's going to be. And people may not like that, but it's going to be that way.
And like you said, when it comes to that backup power forward, it may be by committee. You know, he loves to keep Julius Randle out there for a long time. So you may have stretches where Mitchell Robinson comes out the game and Ihart gets in the game. And when you move Julius Randle to the bench and you move Ihart to the floor when Mitch come back in the game, it's just going to be by committee and depending on who's in foul trouble and who's not in foul trouble.
Right. You can see
what's
RJ
funny
playing some
too-
minutes there hard.
What's funny too, Ron and John, is we all know at the end of the season, right? I'm pretty confident, especially these four and Phil on the team. We were like, we don't really see them going and making any big crazy trade. We called that at the end of the season, right? We were not surprised to say we're going to see them running back, and maybe we'll see one extra piece, somebody that can shoot, a little defense. We weren't expecting anything major, right? And it's funny now you're starting to see the rest of the fan base, those that were really complaining, starting to come along like, oh, maybe we should run it back. Oh, shit, maybe we really are a good team. Like, it's starting to grow on people because when you take that step back, when the hurt of the heat is over, and you sit there and you're like, damn, you know what? We actually had a good season. Did it have its flaws? 100%. Did we have little injuries here and there? Yeah, but we didn't harp on all that. So now we're getting to that point where I think people are really on board with we could run it back, because when you start looking at it for what it is and forget the big superstars, you're like, we got a squad of, I think we can all sit here and agree, a New York Knicks squad. You know what I mean? Sure. It's not like this, MVP team. You're like, no, you got the grit. You got that heart. You got a squad that is willing to put the freaking, logo on their hair. You know what I mean? So, look, we're at that point. We're going to run it back, and we should see a lot of good things, especially with a full season of all of them. Let's just hope injuries don't plague us, and I think we start off hot, or at least freaking hope so,
Yeah. And there's still a trade to be made. Evan Fournier is still on the team. The team's not going to go into the season with Evan Fournier on the roster. So that backup power forward may be out there, whoever we trade for in that Evan Fournier
deal. They're in talks, aren't they, with the new pretzel vendor to come over from the Nets to
no. But according, you had me for a second because I thought you read the article from Bleacher Report. But according to the latest report from Bleacher Report, the Knicks are engaged in conversations for Evan Fournier, and this is as of within the last week. So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, man. I'm definitely gonna wait and see with that. I'm not gonna put any stock in anything, because each time I think they're getting close to moving them, something happens. So we'll see if they actually can do it. It's ironic that you're telling me you couldn't move him when the guy was healthy sitting on the bench, but now that he's hurt, right, playing in the FIBA games, you have a chance to actually move him. I mean, whatever. Okay, I'll take it.
Yes.
But speaking of moves, man, this James Harden stuff, man. This James.
They stopped him. They stopped him. They cut it.
Got him.
Yo, that is hilarious. That is hilarious.
No.
Sigue hablando mierda. Sigue hablando la mierda. That's what happens.
All right, so I'm pretty sure Ron was going to hit him. He was going to head in the direction of, I will not play for that liar. Come on, Ron. Oh.
Am I coming back?
You're coming back. You're back now. You're back now.
Yeah. Come on, Neo.
Hey, yo. That's the cyber web.
That was Daryl Morey right there.
Done.
Oh man, it was all good just a week ago. I don't know what happened here, man. There we go. All right, I'm back.
They said it in the chat. JJ said it. Harden cut your feed, bro. He's like, no, I don't want to hear about it no more. Hey, Harden, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I knew we were getting around. See, tell you. So apparently James Harden is with all the smoke. And once again, I feel like I'm doing the NBA wrap up Thursdays at 8:30 on NothinButKnicks. But anyway, in this case, it actually does shine a light on this whole, Nick, is Joel Embiid going to be available saga? Because for whatever reason, nothing seems real to me about Joel Embiid, but if Joel Embiid is sitting back watching this, right, and he's actually considering the Knicks or any other team, he's got to be saying to himself, this is a clown show, man. First off, how did I get this guy over here in the first? We got rid of Ben Simmons because we were dealing with issues there. Then you bring in this clown, and I'm thinking I'm going to be stepping up. We're going to have a chance to win a championship with this guy, and what does he do? Ever since he's here, he wants to go out. He wants to party in the nightclub. He wants to be out with Lil somebody or whoever. He's always with somebody, Lil, and getting no results from it. Right now, he's at an actual public event. He's a speaker, talking to kids and whatnot. and saying Daryl Morey's a liar, or what's his name? I don't know his first name. Is it Daryl Morey?
Yeah. You had it right.
Daryl Morey.
So he's actually said Daryl Morey is a liar, and he never wants to be associated with this guy, and he doesn't want to play for Philadelphia apparently, or any team that Daryl Morey is associated with, I guess. I don't know what to say about this. I think it's really like there's a time and a place. I don't know if that was it. I don't know if that, like, if you want to say something, just send a statement out through your agent. James Harden says, why do this in front of, like, what was the point? I don't even know what event he was at. He took everything away from the event. Was he coaching kids? What is he doing? I don't know what the hell that was. But I tell you, that's not a way of handling things professionally. I will say that. So I'm glad the Knicks aren't even thinking about considering going for James Harden. But being that he is a part of the circus show, and Joel Embiid is like probably looking back and saying, maybe I should get out of here. What's the thoughts on Joel Embiid possibly being traded to the New York Knicks? Heck, what are you thinking?
Oh, man, why you got to throw
even if he's gonna get traded, do you even want him?
For Joel Embiid, obviously you want him. He's always in talks for MVP. I know a lot of people have some criticisms of him when it comes to some of the dirty stuff that he does on the court. Copy. That's your opinion. You're valid to your opinion, right? When it comes to Embiid and you see the situation that's going on in Philly, it's not only you can't trust the organization anymore. Because like you said, you had the whole issue with trust the process, right? When he was drafted, and that had issues with burner accounts that came to light, and it embarrassed the team and embarrassed everybody that was a part of that organization. Then you had to go into the next GM, and then that didn't work out. And then you went to the Daryl Morey situation. You traded Ben Simmons away. You bring in James Harden. You and Ben Simmons, you have an issue as being the two stars of the franchise. James Harden comes in. You think it's going to work out, but it doesn't work out. And now you're stuck with James Harden bad-mouthing the GM. Do you trust that organization to hire the right GM to fix everything that's going on? No. Even if they trade James Harden, you still got Daryl Morey who's going to be in charge trying to rebuild. So if you're Joel Embiid, you have no trust in that organization whatsoever. Now, when it comes to trading for him, I should say, if the price is right, we play ball. We go to the casino. We in AC right now, 4, 5, 6 at the crap table. Give me your best offer, and I'll try to match that. If not, I go a little bit higher. Like I said, if RJ has to be put in that trade, cool, let's make it work. If Mitch has to be in that trade, cool, make it work. As long as it makes sense and it doesn't deplete our assets and our rest of our roster to get Joel Embiid. But that type of deal is going to hurt and deplete your roster, your draft picks, your salary cap, all of that you have to put into consideration. Do you have enough left over after the Joel Embiid trade to go for it?
That's the question. Jacob, what's your thoughts?
So I'll start with Harden. I think, one, we look at it so crazy that he made the statement he made at this training camp, whatever it was, a public event, as wow, because we're so used to in 2023 that everything's done on social media, right? So it's like, oh my God, he didn't do it behind the keyboard. He said it publicly. That's because he's already done shit on Twitter. He's already done his posts. He's already done his crap talking, and it's probably not getting him what he wanted. So this was his next step. Let me do it publicly in an event setting where it's going to catch everybody's attention. So the antics and stuff, yeah, it's uncalled for, but it's definitely going to give him what he wants, which is finding a way to force himself out of here. I will not be surprised if we see Harden over there with the Lakers. Let's be real, right? If I'm picking a spot, I think that's where he ends up. You know, they get some cheap little deal to make it happen, and that's where Harden goes. Okay?
Yeah, you're not going to get the same return. Yeah.
Exactly, and he's already devaluing that with the more antics like this. So if more of these guys are smart, do what you got to do to move on, because it's not going to get any prettier. There's not going to be some resolution at the end of this that you guys are hugging and kissing and making up. Okay? So, but for me, keep James Harden hell away from Knicks. When those reports were coming out, I was like, oh, hell no. Like, I want nothing to do with that. Okay? Not worth it. When it comes to Embiid, of course, let's look at the name, right? When it comes to Embiid, we all, oh, it's Embiid. Right? But the point is, realistically, if we go and get Embiid, you're talking RJ, you're talking Mitch, you're talking probably Grimes, you're talking quickly and several picks. Is it really worth giving all that up to bring in Joel Embiid? And I get the what if we chase a title? I get that. But for years, we've been preaching we want to see the young guys play. We're finally here, and now we're like, screw it, get rid of everybody. Go get Joel Embiid. I can't see it, guys. Like, if it's going to take that much to make that trade happen, Hector, like you said, we're at the craps table, whatever, and people are throwing in their offers. If it's feasible that we're still walking away where we have a squad that can still continue to perform, then yeah, we get into it. But if it's going to take what it really is going to take to get him, I don't think it's worth it. That's just my opinion, man.
You know, we'll have the three Villanova boys, Joel Embiid, and whatever else we can muster up. You know, because if you got to put Julius in that, or you put Julius in that trade, you know. No, I'm just saying hypothetically. Go ahead, John. My fault.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna say I don't know if Julius would even like. I don't know if Embiid. He doesn't have a no trade clause, but I don't know if Embiid would be happy with being on the Knicks without Julius being here, because Julius is that's his dude on the Knicks apparently. So, you know. But John, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, you can tell Ron has no favoritism. Very unbiased take, Ron. I'm sorry.
Put him out there. Put himself out there. Yeah. That's his guy. You know. Oh, man, can't be here without Brando. It's business, man. It's business, and that's the hardest part to take away from it all. You know, like the NBA is a business, and for us as fans, it's hard to see us develop a team. As us looking into it right now, we've talked about it. How good could we possibly be going into this season? Now, the talks of Embiid potentially having the opportunity to come to New York, it's automatic that we're going to lose a lot of these pieces. Then they got to make the money work, right? So you got to make the money work. And you also have to send over some draft picks. So, yeah, there could be a potential depletion of this roster. However, I do think the Knicks can keep a handful of players that will be formidable enough to play well into the season. Now, however, and this is my caveat, we get Embiid. I don't even think we're getting past the second round of the playoffs with Embiid. It takes time to gel. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it takes time to develop a coach within a culture that's coached by a Coach Tibbs, right? Don't forget, our coach doesn't change if we get Embiid. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So the style of gameplay is going to be different. And players are going to have to adjust. So I don't even think if we get Embiid, it's an automatic next level for us in the playoffs. I think we then pull back a year. You know, you get better to a degree, but you pull back a year, the ability to make a run at an actual championship. So, you know, is it worth it? Is it worth it? I don't know. I mean, this is what, you know, the GMs and the front office gets paid to do. However, just pure talent-wise, I think you don't go wrong with Embiid. Embiid has the talent. He has the talent, and can he motivate himself to be a player that just fits in the mold of a Knicks team, of a Knicks culture? Can he fit that mold? I don't necessarily see that. Again, I'm looking at it from New York's perspective, right? He plays for the 76ers. Some people, if you ask 76er fans, do you love Embiid? They say they love him because he plays hard. You know what I mean? Like he is their guy. Can he match that in a New York uniform? Can he match that? Because that's really what it's going to take. Can he get over the whole, you know, the pity party when he's not winning, when he's not touching the ball? Can he get over that? Because this is Jalen Brunson's team. Don't get it wrong. You get Embiid here, it's still Jalen Brunson's team. It ain't never going to be an Embiid team. You know what I'm saying? So it's really about that. It's what the fit looks like.
Can I go off topic for 1 second? Jose, producer, are you there, Jose? Is there a timeout feature for Sam Granderson? Because I came here to have a good time, and this guy's like, salute, great win by my Braves over the Yanks. I came to have a good time, Sam. Okay? Why you gotta do that to me, Sam?
Shout out to Sam. That's my guy, Sam Granderson, in the chat. Sam, what it do? Yes, the Yankees lost to the Braves.
I had to get it out.
I got the Yankee jersey on. I'm sorry. I apologize.
He had to give it to us, man.
This is a tough time right now. What up, Sam? Always good to see you, my brother. Hope law school's treating you well, bro.
Word.
Well, this is the one thing that I would say with regards to Joel Embiid, if there's any truth to it or if there's any actual exploring into the whole mix. Listen, Knicks fans have become saying all along about Donovan Mitchell. No, let's not give anything for Donovan Mitchell. We don't need to trade for him. When he's a free agent, we'll get him. Well, if you trade a lot of pieces and you get
Ron, you hit the mute. You caught him with the mute.
Ron.
Mute, Ron.
Oh,
Ron, you get killed,
He
Ron.
cooking though. Look at him.
He
Kicking.
He
got a lot
too.
He cooking. He out there. They muted him.
You're muted. You're muted, Ron. I hope you know you're muted. You're muted. We don't.
No, yeah, we don't
hear you. Yeah. All right.
He doesn't believe us.
No, but we really don't hear you. We really don't hear you.
We really don't hear you, Ron.
Cut off.
No, you still You still can't hear him.
You gotta tap back in. We don't hear you. You cut off.
If you want, Ron, keep talking. We'll just fill in the words for you, bro. Go ahead.
Yes. Celso used to be a mouth reader when he worked for the FBI.
Thing is, I can't do it with that smooth R&B voice, you know?
Yeah. We still don't need you. We still don't hear you. I mean, we still don't hear you.
How about now?
There we go.
There you go. You hear us? There you go.
I'm back, baby. Let's go.
There you go. And we definitely need you. I apologize. I meant to say we definitely don't hear you.
Okay. So anyway, I'm sorry. What I was saying was that, everybody's been talking about Donovan Mitchell, how we don't need to go trade for him, right? And that he'll be a free agent. Let's just sign him. Well, if we went and gave a bunch of pieces for Joel Embiid, a year from now, Donovan's a free agent. You sign Donovan Mitchell. Then you're talking about Donovan Mitchell, Joel Embiid, Jalen Brunson. You see where I'm going? We got a nice little mix going on over here. Anything can happen is all I'm saying. You never know. And the other thing that I was going to say, outside of that, because that's more of a pipe dream, but outside of that, even if it was real and we were going to trade for Joel Embiid, and I know it would take a lot, but something tells me that if the Knicks are going to have to wind up giving up 3 first-round picks, Mitchell Robinson's got to go. Most likely RJ Barrett's going. I don't think the Knicks have to give up Grimes and quickly. I think we could keep one of them. We might have to send Deuce over there as well, but I think that would be enough. I think that level of players with first-round draft talent might be enough to get it done. I don't think we got to send Deuce and Grimes. Grimes and IQ in that scenario. But who knows?
Right. He's coming off winning an MVP.
Right. What's he got?
I hear you.
Left with them?
But also the other thing is if Philadelphia is willing to move him, and you said something about them not wanting to taking on Julius because if they're going to be in a rebuild, then they don't want to take on too much either. Like they want return back, but they don't want to have to pay out a lot. And some of these guys are going to be
so that means quickly
be able to make money. That's what I'm saying.
For a bag, right?
There you go. See
what I just want to add on one thing also, because of the toxic nature of what's going on in Philly. It will help whoever's trying to trade for Joel Embiid, because it's not like Philly can keep him going into the season if he comes out and said, I want to get traded. They're going to have to trade him no matter what. So the package may not be as much of a return if James Harden didn't come out saying all of this about Daryl Morey. If there was none of this extra nonsense going on and Philly wanted to trade Joel Embiid, everybody that you just mentioned on keeping would have to be in that deal. But because of what's going on in Philly and the toxic nature, and we're just assuming he's going to come out. He hasn't requested a trade. We're just assuming. But if he come out and demands for a trade and say, I don't want to play for you going into this season, it favors whoever's trying to trade for him because the package won't be as great compared to what it would have been if none of this came out.
Right.
That's fair. And just to answer your question, Joel Embiid has 3 years left on it. Technically has 4, but the 4th is a player option, which he may or may not decide to.
Right.
So he's got 3 years left. He's got
how steep is that contract?
47 million next year, 47.6 next year, 51 the year after, 55 the year after that.
It grows. It doesn't decline. That's the toughest part about
that
it.
Player option year is 59 million.
So see, and this is where it comes down to like really doing your homework, because the money has to match, right? So automatically you got to get at least 40 off the books. Then you got to get RJ's 120 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that automatically you need the money to match. And that's where the players come in. It's not really the draft picks. You have to make the money work, and then the draft picks come on top of that.
Well, and that side of it, I think we're good. Just saying, because RJ and Mitchell Robinson probably get you there. Because Mitch is like 15, 16, with RJ's 28, if I'm not mistaken, gets you to around 43. And I think as long as you're somewhere in like the 3 to 5 million range, something like that, and then the other stuff will work out. So
the new CBA and all of that.
I don't know about the particulars of how the new cap works, though.
Right, and that's why they wouldn't like if you're the 76ers, you got Maxey, right, already, which is very similar to the way Quickly plays, and Quickly's looking for a bag. You just gave Maxey a contract, so you're gonna pull Grimes within that mix. You know what I mean? And then draft picks, right? So can we do without those guys? I mean, I think we can if you got a guy like Embiid. But again, that's not an automatic. It's not an automatic this season we're going to the chip. Like, you can't look at it that way. Although,
yeah, I mean, he was the MVP and he didn't carry them to the next round, right? So, like, that goes to show you, you know, you bring him over doesn't automatically mean, hey, guess good news, guys, right? I mean, it's like me being a Jets fan. I can sit here and be like, oh, we're going to the Super Bowl just because we got Aaron Rodgers. It's not the facts. We still got to build a team. We still got to see how the chemistry goes, how everybody works together. You know, so him coming
James
here
Harden
forgetting
how to play basketball didn't help him out either, trying to get to the next round.
Right.
Very fair. Very fair. True point. Yeah. So I think that it's all kind of like a wait and see, guys. It's all speculation. It's the off season. This is what the off season is about. A bunch of BS that may or may not happen. But hey, we're along for the ride because that's what we do. We're Knicks fans. And no matter what,
creators. Knicks fans.
There you go. As you know, no matter what, we're still Knicks fans.
For life.
Another selfless plug there. I'm sorry, I can't stop.
Yeah. Man, almighty finesse, man. What happened, man? Everybody getting angry. We got Yankees jokes. We got Jets jokes, man. But almighty, good news, buddy. Every Friday, 2 p.m., you can get all the Giants love you want over on the Morning Brew Sports. Come hang out and talk about your man crush, Daniel Jones.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And
we got the Jets. We got the Jets
like
Morning
that.
Brew. We got the Giants Big Blue Brew going on over there. Also, for you guys that may be Jet fans, so let them know. This season that's coming up, if you guys go to any games at the New York at the stadium that they play at MetLife to go see the Jets game, if you get a yearbook for the New York Jets, and if you go to a certain page, you will see the Morning Brew Sports and the New York Jets yearbook for the season that's coming up right now.
Super.
Wow. Very nice. Very nice. Good job, guys. Good job. I like that. And you know, I'm just saying that would lead us into the last, the segue of the last part of the show today before we say our goodbyes. I want to get into what you guys have done because, listen, a lot of us as content creators think of different things, right? We've all had some aspirations. We've had ideas of networking and doing things and expanding, just never got there, right? We haven't been able to put it together. But you guys have been really forthright, ambitious, and strong with your convictions. You guys are putting it together. as they were already mentioning, guys, we're talking Knicks morning brew, Yankees morning brew, Jets evening brew, Rangers ice brew. It's cold. Ooh, burr. We're talking the rookie podcast. I never know what's the name of the rookie show.
Yeah, that's it.
It's the rookies. That's it. The rookies.
Let's go.
That's
right.
We got our two young kids, 13-year-old phenomenal young talents. Our guy Halal from Backstage Baseball and Eddie Kratz. If you guys are Met fans and you guys know about the Met young announcers, Eddie is one of the Mets young announcers, and he's been on SNY calling a few Met games, and it's been amazing having both of those young kids on our channel. They do amazing work, and it's been awesome, like I said, working with two young rising talents in the industry.
That's
awesome.
dope. Yeah. Fantastic. So that that's some of the shows already, and then we, as they were just mentioning, you got the Giants brew. What's the name of the Giants show?
It's the Big Blue Brew. Yeah,
the Big Blue Brew. That's another one added to the list. I mean,
we got
the Jets.
We got the Mets Evening Brew as well with Eddie.
Brew as well.
Eddie Presti, the Saiyan Sons, Jimmy Nolan. They killing it as well. We got the pipe, which is it talks about the Yankees minor league system. Our friends Julian and Sandy from Dugout Station. Julian covers the Somerset Patriots of the New York Yankees farm system. They do amazing work as well. They get exclusive interviews with young prospects. Go ahead.
JJ, we know. And all I'm going to say is, how you doing? You think we ain't going to bring you some Liberty action like that? Come on now. It's coming, JJ.
It's coming. It's coming, JJ. It's coming. What we said that we're going to cover every team in New York except for the Brooklyn Nets. That's the only team.
Only New York team not on the channel. We won't allow it.
And you know what? That's enough. If there was awards they could give out, that deserves its own award right there. Just come on, guys. That's what I'm talking about. But so guys, you hear it. I mean, look at all the different teams, all the different content that they're providing and giving to you guys. It's a hell of an ordeal, a hell of a task. Network. And then you gotta, to be able to control a network and manage all of these different entities and make sure everybody is part of the same mix and has the same outlook. It's not easy. So shout out to you guys, man, to the individuals who created it all, Jigga Man, Hector, and Phil, all three of you guys, man, spearheading. And then Phil got his own spinoff show as well. What's Phil's name of Phil's show again?
The Knicks Nightcap. So, he's doing his whiskey, his Knicks, his hip hop, that's we wanted to really separate the Knicks Morning Brew for our in-season show, and then the Knicks Nightcap being that off-season, right, where you can really highlight hip-hop artists that are Knicks fans. And, Phil loves his whiskey, this man gets hired by whiskey companies to talk whiskey. He was like, I'm going to do some whiskey on the show. So it made sense. But when we started 2 years ago, and I won't make it a long story or anything, it really was – Hector had his thing going on. We hadn't met yet. I was doing a show by myself with a blow-up doll named Frankie. Yes, I said a blow-up doll. True. And that was my co-host.
Wait, are you serious?
Oh, so what happened was it was me and my co-host was a blow-up doll with hair all over his chest. His name was Frankie. And the show would start like this. How you doing? I'd be like, yo, Frankie, say something. Frankie! And Frankie never talks. And I just rub his chest and say, with hair like that, who needs to talk, So that's how...
there you go.
We had
now it makes sense. Now it makes sense.
Yes.
Another
and I got invited because,
Yeah.
Go ahead. My fault, so I didn't mean to cut you off. ADHD is a motherfucker. But no, you know how we do the open channels. I'll do it. Swear jar for me. There you go. I was on For the Love of the Game when I was hosting with my brother Worldwide L, Hard Will as well. So this was our first iteration of For the Love of the Game with Zach, with Spreewell as well. And we had an open panel. And on the open panel was someone that worked with Celso and the NFT space when it came to fan control football. And he invited me on Celso's show. He said, listen, this is Guy. You're from New York. He's from New York. I'm going to put you guys together. Copy was on his show that day, and I'm backstage ready to get on, and I'm listening to him. I was like, yo, I like this guy. I really dig this guy's energy. I love it. And I came onto the show. It was amazing. And him and I, we clicked that night, and we've been brothers ever since. And literally synced like this. Even though I was doing my thing at For the Love of the Game with my guys L and Hardwell, I had to step away from that because I couldn't do the late night stuff anymore. Got injured on the job. I had to focus really mostly on being able to do my physical rehab, my physical therapy at night. So I couldn't do it anymore. I called Celso up. I was like, listen, I got this idea for a Yankee show called Yanks Morning Brew. He was like, he's working with the Knights of Degen as a content media director over there. I was like, let's pitch them the idea. They liked the idea, and we started the show, and that's how we got here.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it works, man.
You know, we grew that channel to over 1,400 subscribers. So do you want to continue the story after that?
Yeah, the short version. We grew that channel. We realized, man, we really want to have ownership of everything we do. And the brew was really something that we started to fall in love with. Mm-hmm. And we started thinking Knicks Morning Brew, Jets, like we just started doing like all the brew. And we finally found our voice and our brand. So we sat down, we made the decision, hey, let's step away from that. Let's start fresh, no carryover, not, take people that were a part of that other company. Let's see for ourselves, humble ourselves, and do this again organically. And we were like, let's take those steps back now so we can take a big leap forward. And again, man, if it wasn't for guys like you, a lot of people that we see in the chat that come and support our shows, we understand. And what I love about every single person that works with us, guys, is not a single person on this stuff is worried about themselves becoming famous, not the content being about them. That's not what we're here for. Right. We do the content to highlight the teams that we love. We do the content we do so we can build a community and talk to people in the chat. And when you're able to sit here and have 17 different content creators from the Smitty and Eddie show to Mets, Jets, everything, and everybody be on that same page about, we want to build community. Not a single person that's come into here like, man, you know what? I want to be famous. Oh, you know what? I can't wait to make $1 million off of this. No, everybody's like, I want a platform where we can talk to other New York fans. And you guys know how it is. You've got your guys that are your Knicks, your Mets, and your Jets, right? And then you got those like me that are Knicks, Yanks. And so to be able to have that one network that covers any New York team except the Nets, never will cover the Nets, but to be able to have that spot where everybody can come and no matter what, man, even like JJ and these guys, right? We've got guys that show up to the Jets thing talking smack as Giants fans, and it's all love, and we love that. So the support that they've given us, and especially you guys since day one, man, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing if it wasn't for you guys. I mean, hey, it's Monday night. I'm hanging out. What time is it? 10:48 p.m. I'm here with Ron and John. I went from watching your shit and being in the chat like, oh, you guys are cool to, oh, shit, I'm hanging out with you. So something's working out really well, and I'll keep taking it. How you doing?
And most importantly, we've been able to, and John, when I'm gonna bring up, it's we've been able to create a workers co-op type of format when it comes to what we do over at the Morning Brew Sports. Everybody has a say in what we do, right? Yes, it's Celso, myself, and Phil. We started it, but the people we bring on, one of the first things we tell them is like, you guys don't work for us or anything like that. We all work together collectively. You let us know what you want to talk about, whatever resources that we can provide you, we're going to try to provide you with that. We let everybody know that when it comes to their own intellectual property, this is your stuff, right? Yes, it's the Morning Brew Sports, but when it comes down to it, you're in control of your IP. You get to do what you want with your IP, however you want to run your show. And I think for me and for Celso and for Phil, that was the most important thing, because we wanted to create a space where everybody feels like they're a part of the decisions we make, and it's a family at the end of the day when it comes down to it.
But if you look at Phil's comment, he said, speak for yourself. You heard it, boys. They don't do it for money. Bring all your super chats to the Knicks nightcaps tomorrow. Oh, my brother.
It's a smart man.
Gotta love Phil.
All right. If that show makes a lot of money tomorrow, Hector, we got to have a conversation, bro.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, well, I just want to applaud you guys because, like I said, listen, in this content creation game, we all have different ideas, and it's all about what makes sense for us, what can we execute, what's ahead of us today and for the next couple weeks and down the line. What can we actually do? And so it's really nice to see you guys go forward, be great at giving us content about what we've already seen with the Yankees Morning Brew and the Knicks Morning Brew, and then branching that off into all these different trees. And it's just the ability to do that, I think, is fantastic. I applaud you guys, because it's not easy to branch off with a couple trees, but you guys are doing multiple trees, and you found good, competent people that can hold their own and carry these shows to keep the network growing and glowing. So once again, support to Morning Brew Sports. the whole Brew network. I don't know what's the best way to say it. What's the main title again?
Well, we stuck with Morning Brew Sports because that's
Morning
how it all
Brew Sports.
started.
Okay.
That's who we
All right.
are. So even though we got nighttime and afternoon, and we thinking of doing some super late novella type stuff too, but we'll always be the Morning Brew Sports.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
late,
First and
foremost.
foremost.
The novella flow.
We just stopping everything over here today, all right?
Yeah, facts.
I like
big
it.
facts.
I like it.
Also,
I like that.
Also, too, you could catch myself and Celso on Get Yanked, which is a show that we have on NYY News TV. Shout out to our guy Pete Simonetti. He runs the #1 Yankee watch along show. If you guys are Yankee fans and you guys haven't watched Pete Simonetti streams, I don't know what you're doing with your life, right? The Yankees suck right now, but one way we could get through it is I got Pete Simonetti always holding it down, calling the game. So you could catch us every Friday. We haven't done it within the past couple of weeks just because I had an issue go on. I had to go see my father in Florida. We got some stuff going on this weekend, but normally you could catch us every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. NYY News TV, a show we got called Get Yanked.
Nice.
Dope. Man, you guys are,
And we just passed 19,000 subscribers. We just passed 19,000 subscribers over there on NYY News TV.
Nice.
Right? Busy.
Get yanked and get subscribed.
Right? Well, the only problem, Ron, is I keep adding to our outro video every time we have a new show. By next month, our outro is gonna be like 6 minutes long, bro. I gotta figure something out. Like the new outro should be like, "Thanks for tuning in. We do a lot of shit." Boom. That's it. That should be the new outro.
Hey man, you guys keep it going. It is what it is. It doesn't. You can't stop the madness. It's growing and glowing. I love it. So keep doing it, bro. It is what it is. So before we get out of here, any final words from you gentlemen? Heck.
The Yankees suck. I can't wait for the Knicks to come back because I need to be distracted because the Yankees suck. I cover the Yankees 3 times out the week on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 11 a.m. Yankees Morning Brew. Fridays is our open panel where all of our guys come on. And I got to say one thing. I really respect the guys that come on or the people that come on my open panel because it's a very respectful place, right? And one thing I wanted to make sure that everybody knows, if I disagree with your take, Ron, or if I disagree with you, John, or Jigga down there, that doesn't mean I don't want to hear your take. I allow everyone to give me their take about the Yankees, and it's not a debate show. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. Give me your take. Cool. Let's move on to the next person, and so on and so on. Also,
you mean
I
it's
want to
not
make
toxic Twitter?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, exactly. Also, I wanted to make it a place when it comes to the open panel. If there's people in the chat that want to get into being a content creator and are just nervous and don't know how to go about it, come on to the open panel, work it out, use it as a gym, build up your repertoire, gain your confidence, and go start your own channel. We all started on other people's open panels when it comes to Blorange Tears and Freezy, when it comes to NBK and Sims, when it comes to Uncle Ron, man. I wish he would come back, but shout out to Uncle Ron. We all started on open panels, and I feel like it's important to keep that concept going the same way that you guys have it on your Saturday show. And it's just something unique that we have. And I think it's something that is special. And I'm going to always have an open panel, no matter if we have 1,000 subscribers or we get to 50 or 100,000 subscribers. It doesn't matter to me.
Really dope. Jigga?
Well, I'm going to end it with a Nick take, all right? And I cannot wait to see the shit that comes out on Twitter, or excuse me, formerly known as Twitter, over the next week. After what James Harden pulled today, things are about to get crazy on X, all right? I can't wait to see Eddie. We all know Eddie's about to put some trade out tonight to piss off every fan base. It's going to be Embiid and like our whole entire roster. So I'm interested to see if things actually come to life when it comes to Fournier. Are we actually going to see a trade? it's still the off season. It's fun to see our guys doing their thing in FIBA, but I'm ready to see what our guys do. And just to have a piece of, here's the squad, we're rolling. We don't have to worry about the speculations on the trade stuff. And let's see our boys get to work, man, because I'm hoping we start the season just cooking, man. We need it. We definitely do.
Yeah. Listen, it's always a pleasure to have you guys with us. Like I said, when we get together, whether it be on this show or on your show, it's like I'm just chilling with my homies. And it's not, it's nothing.
That's
I can do it anytime you need me, or John. I know he feels the same. It's no big deal. It's like a hop, skip, and a jump. All right, okay, I'll be there.
No
problem.
I don't even think we ask anymore, right? It's like, 9:30 tomorrow.
Nah.
All right, good.
You gotta ask me, especially. I'm like, there was a show on, episode on A Different World about there was a joke about a girl in the audience or whatever, and some dude in the class made a joke and said, all right, I can't even say it. Can I say it? No, I can't say it. Well,
don't get
canceled. Don't get canceled.
All right. Okay. The point was, it was a derogatory statement. The guy called a female in class something because he said she'll do anything for a dick. It was a math joke. It was a math joke.
The Yankees lost tonight.
All right, I'm not okay. Anyway, so yeah. All right. So my point was, I was trying to make it seem. I'm like that when it comes to the Morning Brew Sports. No. I'm saying I'm like that when it comes to the Morning Brew Sports shows. I got to be on the first show of everything.
Jose, where are you?
Oh God!
He said, Jose, hit the button. End it now.
All right, John. Any final words, bro?
He's getting delirious.
I was gone. I don't know where I was going. Any final words, John?
As always, everyone out there in Knicks Nation, stay blessed, stay safe. I'm out of here. Appreciate you all. 3 fingers to the sky. I'm out.
As I always say, guys, thank you for tuning in and supporting the show. Smash that like button. Show your love for Still Knicks fans and the Morning Brew Sports. As I say, tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still Knicks fans, we'll be back again, whether it be on Monday nights at 9 p.m. for SKF Weekly with special guests like the Morning Brew Sports. Thursday nights on NBK, that's right, Nothing But Knicks for the NBA wrap-up, our newest show. Please support 8:30s on Thursdays. This Thursday is going to be another good show. And if anybody out there is interested, and is a beat maker or is a hip-hop artist, we'd love to have you come on the show. You can, display your one of your original beats or a hip-hop rhyme, little 8 to 16 bars, not too much. We don't want to put you out there, but we want to support you and watch your talent grow. So please tune in this Thursday, 8:30. We're going to have another special guest. It should be a really good show, and it's continuing to grow. And if that's not enough, get a little bit more. Yours truly on Saturdays at 11-ish, 11:30-ish for Know the Ledge, where I talk Knicks fans off the ledge continuously, open panel show. So by all means, you're welcome to join. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Smash that like button, show your love. And please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the Morning Brew Sports. And now you got no excuse, because I don't care what you like. They're covering it. So come on.
We got it all.
Show them some love.
We got it all.
Jose, can we exit with a fist pump? Can we do that? Can we end out with the beat?
Let's go. And we're out of here, folks. Thank you for tuning in.
My arms are tired.
Freedom over fame. Freedom over cycle stays the same.